Ross. On to chat a little bit about this new energy device that I have purchased. So I've just invited her, so we'll see if I did that right. But we're going to jump on and chat a little bit about this energy frequency healing device that I just purchased. And she has been using for many, many, many years. And I'm like loving this. I've had it for 5 days now, I think. Yes, I. Hang on. Okay. Hi! Yay, it worked! Oh my gosh.
I hope you
Can
weren't too long.
Okay, you can hear me.
Yeah.
There's something weird on my screen, but that's okay. Oh no, it's just the Instagram is saying, hang on, we're telling more followers about your video. Okay, cool. This is exciting. How are you doing today? Happy Easter weekend. Hopefully you had a nice weekend.
I'm good. I hope you weren't waiting for me for too long.
No, no,
But
no.
no.
I'm good. I'm good.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So finish whatever you're chatting. You said you've had your Healy for
Oh
five
yeah.
days.
I know. I didn't know when you jumped on. I was chatting with my followers just while we were waiting to figure out how to get you on. No, I was just saying that I've had my Healy for what now, like 5 days maybe. And I've just every single day had various exciting things that have happened. Last night my kids slept through again. I did try a different sleep program. I tried the sleep systems program last night, and so we did have some wake ups at 6:30, but hey, that's fine. I'm gonna go back to the balanced sleep program for the next few nights, but that's pretty amazing. So sleeping through the night in their own beds for the first time in like pretty much ever, 3 out of 4 nights in a row, which is very exciting for me.
Like for many aspects, I mean, and we can just dive right into that and
Mm.
talk about because you are the holistic baby guru and
Okay, right.
and you really focus on sleep. And to me, to have the conversation of holistic and leaving out frequency doesn't make sense to
Mm-hmm.
me. Maybe add a bit on that, like, because you've said many times to me over the last week that like this is a game changer. So I want to hear what that means for you specifically.
Yeah, so I consider, let's just start a little bit like backtracking. So, what do I even consider holistic? Um, the way I approach all of my clients is that I really look at the entire person, I look at the entire family unit. And when we're looking at something like sleep, I'm not just looking at sleep. I'm not looking at, whether your child is sleeping through the night or if they are even sleeping 5 or 6 hour chunks in a row. I'm looking also at how is their feeding going? Have you introduced solids? What is their gut health kind of showing us? Do they have constipation? Do they have, other eczema or skin issues or other things that might be impacting their sleep? How is their activity level during the day? I tend to get the kids who are very, very active during the day and therefore have a really hard time settling and calming for sleep. So then we kind of go down the rabbit hole of sensory processing and what is their sensory processing like? I get a lot of babies with reflux. So if they're in pain, if they're hungry, if they eat and then they just can't digest that properly, like that's going to affect your ability to sleep. I also get a lot of babies who, for whatever reason are overstimulated. Maybe they're overtired, so they're not napping well. So then that also leads to difficulties with sleeping at night. So we kind of look at the whole picture and it's never the same. It's never the same. Of course, there's similar strategies that I'm like, okay, like let's rule out XYZ first, and then we'll kind of start looking at what's going on with your specific sleep schedule and sleep routines. And do you have a calming bedtime routine? Does bath time energize your baby and you're doing that before bed? Like that might be something to look at. And then I do also tend to sort of draw in the people that are a little bit more interested and open to things like essential oils. And so sometimes I'll recommend, adding in some essential oils to the bedtime routine or into a diffuser at night to just help with that calming and that resetting and rebalancing. And so this energy healing device called the Healy has been a whole new tool, I guess, that I have used for my own children's sleep. And I've seen really amazing benefits because I've done so much with them, so much to help them sleep the best that they can sleep. And I will be honest, my kids didn't sleep through the whole night. I have a 5 and 7-year-old, and like, yeah, okay, I'm a sleep consultant, but you can't force people to sleep. And there's so many reasons why kids and babies wake up at night, and it's not because they're trying to be annoying. We have to find out, why are they waking up at night? And I've had some hypotheses for my own kids too, but realistically, this tool over the last 4 days has been such an easy addition into our bedtime routine. And I really do think that it's the energy frequency that has helped to balance their system enough for them to then be able to have the proper levels of hormones at night that is going to lead to the ability to sleep, but also potentially like quieting their mind. And just, there's so many levels. Yeah, and so I'm really excited. I've already started trialing this with one of my clients who I kind of was like, hey, would you be open to this? And she was like, yes, please. So we've now been doing the distance healing for her little baby for 3 days now. So I just touched in with her today to see. She hasn't responded yet. So I'll have to do another video when she does. But, I wanted to just see if she's noticed any progress. So she's got a 10-month-old, or maybe he's 11 months now, who is basically on the boob all night long. And so yes, they're getting sleep because they're sleeping in the same bed. So she doesn't have to necessarily get out of bed and do anything. She just rolls over. But she's also really annoyed and like, okay, I just want my body back and I want to have more than an hour sleep at a time. So we're going to see if there's been any progress.
Yeah.
And that's like a lot of layers. That's not one of those where like, okay, just stop nursing and everything will be fine and your baby will like sleep through the night. That there's so many layers of, why is he nursing constantly at night? It's not just because the milk is easily available. Like,
Do for you, for that specific client. So you talked about a few things. So when we, for our children's, typically we actually put the device on them using the coil, which makes it really safe for children. And so like in person, but there's also the option of doing it from distance. And the way that that works is, even though I'm not a quantum physicist, but from the research that I've done and the trainings that I've received, it's just we all have an energetic field, an information field, and we can connect to that through a specific thing inside the Healy called a quantum sensor. And it allows us to be able to scan people from a distance and also send them frequencies to bring their body back to alignment. So everything that you said, like, I mean, I'm not going to repeat it all, but the reflex, all the behind the scene reasons why a child has a specific issue, whether it's sleep or emotions or whatever, stress, there's a ton of reasons. And what this device helps us do, like overall, is to bring your body back to harmony. Is unwind those behind the scene reasons that we may not see, and it's hard for us to put the and figure out everything that's going on, and it unwinds it energetically and brings your body back to harmony. Hence why, like magic, your kids are now able to sleep through the night, right? Because yeah, you have your hypotheses and you try different things. For you, it's sleep. For me, it was like emotions. My daughter has big emotions, and I looked into all sorts of things like human design, and I tons and tons and tons and tons of books from different experts, and nothing was working. Like nothing was working long term. And I would take her to like get a Reiki appointment or sound healing appointment, and it'd be great for like a day or two, and then like back to normal, right? So to be able to have access to this device in your hands is like a game changer. yeah, because I mean, you've handled or getting a handle on sleep, and we got a handle on emotions, which is really, really fun.
I'm gonna have to
But
pick your brain on that one another time because I have a son also. My son is definitely more of the sensitive guy and he has big emotions and we're dealing with that too. We've gone on a whole road of let's just like try this, try this, try this. So I'm really excited to start trialing. Sleep was kind of the main thing because I thought, if I can at least get his sleep under control, then we need sleep to function, then we have a better chance to then be able to like deal with things during the day. So, but yeah, the emotions is a big one. And I feel like for a lot of kids, the emotions is a huge one, especially over the last, 3 years. We thankfully haven't had any more lockdowns recently, but because of all of that disruption in our daily lives, I feel like it really affected our little ones. So
more than just
this is going to be good healing.
yeah,
Sorry.
more than just big emotions, I'm seeing like anxiety and stress and whatever, which like and then it affects emotions, it affects all the things. So yeah, being able to have like a very holistic approach and to energetically unwind. And yes, I think it's very also do practical things like, do the things in their bedroom and have the bedtime routine, for example. I think most people can relate to that. But like, the things beforehand and don't, energize them before sleep to give them the best time. Get a set time so that, their bodies are falling asleep at a certain time and all these things. But yeah, sometimes it's just things that we don't see. And why not? Like, we don't need to be like superheroes. Like, why not leave super conscious tools to support us, and holistic tools to support us on our parenting? I'm going to say, so with your client with the sleep, there's a specific thing. So in that edition that we both have, the professional edition, it gives the option to do a coach scan. So with
Mhm.
much of what it is you actually get to input your focus. So I would be really curious with that client because I know you've been doing it in a different way to send them support, but I would be like, what is the mom's actual goal? Is it that the child only once? Is it that he doesn't wake up at all? Is it, you know what I mean? So
So
I
I
would,
did that.
yeah,
I did that. I asked her and she had a hard time. She was like, I just don't want him to latch all night. And so I did actually, and I'm just going to pull it up right now because I sent her, I kind of made a very generic one, a general one, specific for him, but I wanted it to cover so many options. And so the intention that I put in was to help this child be more regulated at night and not need to latch onto the breast all night long, leading to longer stretches of sleep. So I realize I can make that a lot more specific.
yeah,
But because I feel like I'm not 100% sure yet as to why he is latching on all night, what they've tried. Like she actually came to me for craniosacral therapy treatment. So we haven't even explored the sleep in like huge detail. But usually with these older babies who are latched all night long, it is more of a regulation component where they need that comfort, they need that connection, they need that sort of safety feeling, versus like the nutrition
so I would,
piece. Like they're not waking up because they're hungry. So that's why I put that regulation piece in there at night because I do feel like it's more of a I took a guess, a hypothesis that it's more of a sort of an emotional kind of component to it. And so that's what I've been running. So what I've been running is I've been running that intention once a day, during the day with sort of more of that emotional component, piece to it. And then in the evening, I actually run a sleep specific one for them, as well. And I'm just running it about 12 minutes for each time, which is kind of cool because I feel like that 12 minutes can have a huge impact, but it doesn't take up a lot of my time. And I can kind of set it with the intention. And then I kind of put my Healy device and my phone like just there, and I'm doing something else, which is kind of
yeah.
cool.
No, for sure. And I would just, I mean, we can talk about this offline, but I would just say when we do focus statements, it's really, really important to have a positive. So, like, and use your hypothesis and like the desired goal. So maybe it is getting more clarity, but like something like I'm so like, and use the child, obviously, like, the child is not, sorry, you don't want to even say is, so you said something like, he's not latching on all the time, but I would
Mm,
just is not actually what you want, not what like the opposite
right.
of what you want. Like, so really be careful to not put any negatives in there. Um,
Mm-hmm.
okay, so we've been talking about a lot about frequency. And like I said, this is what it does. And we don't even need to understand why. Sometimes when we do these scans, it gives us clarity on actions that we can take. But oftentimes, yeah, we just need to let the energy do its thing. And we start to feel the shift, which is really, really amazing. And like the big picture of what it does is it reconnects us to our original blueprint.
Mm-hmm.
And it allows us to be able to stand firmly in our truth, which is like really beautiful. So I know you and I have chatted like months ago, like probably 6 months ago, and you weren't ready to purchase a device at the time. And I'm curious, like what changed? Like why did you decide to get a Healy now
So
versus
I'll
6 months?
I'll be honest. Part of it. So 6 months ago, I had when you reached out, I had actually just purchased a wave watch, which is sound frequency. So slightly different, but still in terms of like that whole energy frequency piece. And so I didn't want to jump into something totally new after I had really tried this thing that I had just bought. So that was the first piece of it. And initially also I was kind of like, well, it's a little bit more expensive. Like definitely the financial piece was standing in my way 6 months ago. And then in March, I literally, it was like the stars had aligned. Sabrina reached out to me and I was chatting with her a little bit and she's like, oh, they're having a 40% off sale. And I was like, oh, tell me more. And I've had some benefit from the Wave Watch, and I'll have to do another video on my comparison between the two. But I will say that I guess I was expecting more from the Wave Watch, and so I was still finding that I needed something else. I needed something like there's just more that I was like, okay, this is great, but like I'm still having to do all these other things as well. Um, and so that was part of it where I was curious. I really like the ability that this has the scanning component, which is something that I was like, okay, so that will allow me to be a little bit more kind of like deep diving into what my body actually needs versus just sort of guessing on which program to use. So that was another piece of it. And I got a pretty nice tax refund. So I was like, and I'm going to like treat myself and put this towards this healing device. So those were kind of the underlying reasons. And now that I've had it for 5 days or 6 days or something, I can't imagine my life without it. And I'm so happy that I jumped in because even in those 6 days, I have seen so much more benefit than what I saw with the Wave Watch for the 6 months that I've been using it. And I use that every single day. I get made fun of all the time because it looks like a gigantic Apple Watch. Like people are like, "What are you gonna do? Watch videos on there?" So, so this I really like because I can either wear it like this or I can wear it on my belt, like kind of my waistband, and you don't even have to necessarily see that I'm wearing it on my bra, like anything, right? So that's kind of helpful, but I think it just was like a lot of stars aligned right at the same time. And I decided like, okay, well, now is the time to jump in. Now is the time to say yes, because especially with the 40% off and the ability to purchase this device and get all of the programs for lifetime access, that was the other piece that I was like, yes, please. I really like that right now they're offering it, at least in Canada, they're offering it without the subscription, which I know is coming. So I was really kind of like, okay, this is the time to jump in because I just purchased it once and I have all of these programs that are going to be amazing for my entire family for life,
I
which
agree.
is cool.
We coming. We don't quite know that yet, but it is coming. And there's pros and cons around
Mhm.
it, but I'm definitely not rather just pay the higher upfront costs and not keep paying forever. But some people, it's way more, um, they can justify the smaller chunks every month for that investment. So something really there. You said you want it was perfect time to treat yourself. And then Ashley there posted that it was such a great investment. And I definitely see that. I see this in an investment in my wealth, in
Mhm.
my health, in my family's health, in all of it, right? For me, what it really did was a few different things, and I'll just share briefly, but I've been a coach for over 3 years now, and being in the coaching world gets kind of lonely because you're like doing this by yourself all the time. And I didn't realize quite how much I was missing the community part of it. So we can chat more about that. And you've dipped your toes briefly in there in the last week that you've been in. But I was really missing that community. But in order to do that, I was coughing up thousands and thousands of dollars to be part of mastermind groups and things like that, like pretty much all year round. So it was actually like it was such an investment that I was doing for my business. And then yeah, like not necessarily seeing that investment. And then personally, like, yeah, we were, because emotions was a big thing, and we are going through a very challenging time in our lives right now, Daphne and I personally. And so we were attending like Reiki sessions monthly, sound healing bowls monthly, going to see a holistic chiropractor, going to see, going for body talk sessions. And those were all like range from 50 to $150 a session, right?
Mhm.
We were both doing that monthly, right? So it was like such, we were investing in our health and just like in, here and there, but regularly to be able to support ourselves. And then also like, there's a whole digital nutrition part of Healy. When you purchase the same, we got the professional. And just there, I was like, huh, like this is crazy. Like I do spend money on supplements and vitamins, and I make sure that they're good quality or as good as it comes, right? So now it's like I've just like for me, the way I looked at it too, it wasn't a big investment. I wasn't fully like prepared for it, but it was just a shift in what I was investing, right? Instead of spending hundreds and thousands of dollars a month on other areas of life, now I invested in that, and I'm able to do this every single day and support myself every single day instead of leaning on professionals and other professionals to go to, which they all have their place, like, and I'm really grateful for what they have, but having access to it daily
Mhm.
is so much faster, and right, so
Yeah.
yeah, so it's an investment the way I look at it.
Mhm.
It was an investment in many different areas. So it seems like it was like that for you as well.
100%. And I mean, so I am brand new to it. So I have only started to explore the possibilities. Like I can't even, it's going to take me weeks and months to really go through all of the programs and really like understand exactly what my body needs in terms of like my goal for sure is to get off of supplements for all of us because we're spending like, yeah, exactly hundreds of dollars on these high quality supplements every single month. And like, even to the point where like, sometimes I'm like, okay, I'll buy my kids the good probiotics and I'll just go without this month because like, you're like, I'm spending how much? Like, so, it's funny how you make these choices and you're always, I don't know how other moms are, but I'm always like, okay, save the good stuff for the kids and I'll just take whatever's left. Um, but, but yeah, it's an important piece of our life. And it's something that I wasn't willing to skimp on. And so now that I have this alternative that might even work better is kind of cool. So that's definitely one of the things that I'm going to start exploring because by the time you think about, even figuring out what your kids really need and what you really need in terms of what supplements your body is lacking or what vitamins and minerals your body is lacking, you're kind of guessing, which is kind of cool that now I don't have to guess.
And then like some things like vitamin C, like we've been told, like, if you take too much, you just piss it out or whatever. Like, right? Like it's just
Yeah.
like, what's the point of that? So yeah, so the one, so with this, like we can do a scan of the the digital nutrition specifically, do a scan, figure out exactly what our body needs, and then give him that. Sometimes I don't even do that. I just give her the children part. And then like there's a bunch of 6 different um slides with I think at least 10 to 12 different ones. So there's like a ton of digital nutritions, right? And I just typically choose the children one. But yeah, if she like under the weather for whatever reason, I will do a scan to get a little bit more specific about what she needs. And the beautiful thing about it is because of this quantum sensor, which I talked about before, what it does is it actually scans your body like, do you need this? Do you need this? Do you need this? Do you need this? And your body is replying yes and no. And then it's sending your body exactly what it needs until it gets to 100% saturation. So you're not overdoing it, you're not underdoing it, you're just getting exactly what you need, and then they're moving on to the next thing that you need. Like it's just mind blowing.
I know. And that actually, I've noticed that sometimes I'll run a program and initially it'll say that the program is like 52 minutes or something, but that it stops after like 35 or 36 minutes. And I did read into that and I was like, oh, it stops once your body reaches like the end of that program. So like once your body kind of tells them like, okay, I'm done. I've reached my, I guess my resonance or whatever, my
It,
balance.
yeah, it's yeah, for you it could take 35 minutes, for me it could take 52 or whatever, right? Like it doesn't really matter, but it's very, very
Mhm.
unique. Like we can run the same sleep balance program or balance sleep, whatever it's called, and you get what you need and I get what I need, which is what's so beautiful about it. Takes so much of the guesswork
The
out.
other thing I love about this is that it's quiet. So that was one of the kind of things that I found a little bit annoying with my Wave Watch is because it's sound frequency, like it has this buzzing noise. And I guess I must be really sensitive to auditory sounds, but I had to have it on such a low level to not be bothered by the buzzing. And so I love that this is silent. It doesn't have any buzzing noises. Depending, I haven't explored with like the full magnitude of it, but I'll usually put it on like 35 to 50%, like as soon as the program starts running. So I don't even really notice, besides feeling sometimes my body get more calm. I don't have any kind of like I don't feel, I know it sounds so weird, but like it's not like you're feeling electrical currents or something like in your body, or there's no buzzing. It's just like you kind of forget that it's on, which is I like, because it just seamlessly goes into your life. You don't have to be sitting in a specific position. I like the wireless option for sure, using the coil. When I had my migraine 2 days ago, I did put the electrodes on, which was really helpful also, because I just felt like that took away the pain in a shorter amount of time.
Which is awesome. Um, and then another place that we can maybe wrap this up afterwards. And we talked about community, but like you said, you haven't dove in too much into it just because you're brand new. But even that, I would say just like my support, the support of Sabrina, like the direct community for you. Um, I don't know, like we were on a call over the weekend or on um but it's just like you can see that it's different than doing business alone. We share resources, we support each other. There's leadership, there's collaboration. Like it's just so much, it's just so nourishing to be in this community where, especially if you're a coach or anything like that, you're used to doing business alone, and all of a sudden all these people are there to support you and help you and share their resources. Like, whoa,
Yeah.
like this is awesome. And you don't have to continue to pay every month to be part of it. Like you're part of it as you're part of it, right? Which is a really beautiful thing.
Yeah, I really like the model that they have going right now. It's very different than other sort of network marketing models, because this is more of an affiliate marketing model right now, which I love. Yeah, it's nice, and the community is different. It's got a special vibration. It's just easy. It's friendly. Like, yeah, it's just really lovely. Like so far I've watched mainly videos and things like that, but everybody on the videos is already just like a it's just a different vibe, very healing kind of vibe. Everybody just wants the best for everybody else. It's like very abundance and creative kind of focused vibe, which is nice.
Yeah.
And like, I love also that there's no, like, you're not doing like parties, which is like, to me, it's just so icky. So anyway, that's a big difference as well in terms of that business piece. Like, I just share what I love. I'm sharing how this is working for me and my experience with it and my journey with it so far. I'm like 6 days in. And that's it. That's it. And if you resonate with that, then you'll get in touch. And if you don't resonate with that, totally fine.
Yeah.
Have a nice life. No, just kidding.
I agree. Finish off talking about wealth a little bit because obviously it is through affiliate/network marketing, and there is the possibility for that. And so, funny enough, when I started, I've been involved in using frequency medicine for almost 10 years now. Very different devices than I'm using now. Like, anyways, that's for another day. But the accessibility of it, I mean, is very different, but it's still either way frequency medicine. But here's the thing, like when I started, I knew because I've been involved in that world for 10 years, I knew that there was people that would want it. So my intention at first was, so like the reason I started is not the reason I'm still here kind of thing, right? Like at first was I just wanted to, support the people that I knew wanted it and hopefully earn my money back, like earn my investment. And I did. And then after that, I really had to lean into shifting my blueprint and realize what I really do want. And as much as I adore what I do with coaching, a lot of what I do is to elevate the consciousness of the family and to help them get back to their original blueprint. And if I'm being honest, like for me to be able to do that in private sessions, even group sessions, it works, but it takes way longer, right? When you're able to lean into this device, into the frequency, for them to be able to get to see shifts happens so much faster because we can still have like real tools to use every single day and practices, but leaning into that also helps them do that. So I've really leaned into supporting my clients and my community more with this. And another big reason is because, I've been sick. I've been under a tremendous amount of stress in the last 5 years. And I keep, for me, my cycle, it often shows up like I just keep getting sick. And it's very challenging because then you're sick and I can't show up for calls. I can't show up for clients. And it just really made me realize, and I started to question, like, what do I want? What's wealth for me? What's abundance for me? What is freedom for me? And it was like not being attached to having to physically show up all the time. And I love supporting clients, but it just, I can't keep, like, if there's something wrong with me, I can't be there, right? So, what are the other ways that I can support clients? Like, I've seen my dad, and my dad is tremendously successful, and he did really well for himself financially, but he's in his 60s and he's 61 and he's still working, 10 to 12 hours a day. And I don't want that. Like, that's not what I want. So, leaning into the community, using the frequencies in specific ways to really release the untruths of what I've um, taken over the years of what wealth is, what financial well-being is, and to just rewrite how I relate to money, to like self-worth and to like how I deserve to receive money has been really, really powerful. And I love being able to share that piece with people too,
Yeah.
because of things that we're in. Shit is expensive. Like every time I go to the grocery store, and I'm like, I bought there's 6 bags of groceries and it's $330. How does this make sense? Like, how can people afford this? This is crazy, right? So it's like people are looking for another way to receive money without having to continuously spend time and energy, and they want to further invest time and energy to be able to grow it, I guess.
Yeah. And that's another piece that I'm actually really excited to explore, another area to explore to sort of open up my own consciousness and my own, get my own kind of harmony and balance around that wealth and abundance. I've done so much personal development, and I've done all sorts of different masterminds and programs, like with Bob Proctor, with Hina Khan, like so many of these really big top name people to help with that personal image, right? And that image of success, and like who is the person that you want to be and being that person now. So I think that this device is just going to make all of that so much easier.
So what you just, it is the person you want to be and being that person now. What I found over using frequencies over the last 6 months is, for me, I've actually, and I say this on Friday, but I've actually worked with Hannah like 7, 8 years ago,
Yeah.
before she was this big name, which is cool. But anyways, so what I was going to say. So yeah, so Joe Dispenza is someone that I lean into a lot, and everything he talks about, like, or even just that, like being the person you want to be. Okay, this sounds really cool concept, but how the hell do you do that? And over the last 6 months, I really changed anything, and just by using the frequencies, and then I listened to him again. And there's one practice that I developed over the last like 5 weeks maybe, but just re-listening to Joe like a week ago, I was like, whoa, this went from being a concept to an embodiment. And I get what he's saying, right?
Yeah.
Over the like the only exception is the last 5 weeks, but before that there was nothing I had shifted. All I had done was work on myself in an energetic manner, and the whole concept of all those wonderful things became an embodiment. I was like, wow, this is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah, it's definitely such a powerful tool for personal development as well. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yay. Oh my gosh. And this is the crazy thing, right? Is like, well, it's not even so crazy, but this little tiny device can help you in so many areas of your life, from sleep and migraines to emotions and anxiety to personal development to wealth, creativity. Like I feel like the possibilities are really limitless.
Yeah.
And I think the beauty of that comes from the fact that it's using energy frequency and putting your body back into harmony and balance. And I think that this is the part where people are kind of like, oh my God, this is so woo woo. Like, how does it actually work? Like, I just had this conversation with my parents on the weekend. They were curious. They want me to do distance healing with them, but they're also kind of like, wait, how does it work? And I couldn't really explain the science behind it. But if you think about, there's energy all around us. Like, how do you use your cell phone? How do you get the radio to work? Not that people are necessarily using radios anymore, but like Alexa, and like, how do all of these things work? How does Wi-Fi work? How does the internet work? Right? And so it's like, that's all based on frequency also, and based on energy. So why not use that energy for good instead of 5G and EMFs, right? Why not use that energy to actually heal our bodies and put our bodies back into resonance? And they're using energy frequencies in medicine also, like, and in hospitals and all of the devices that they use there too. So why not promote this for actual well-being and your own individual well-being? It's kind of like, shh, don't talk about all these amazing frequencies out there, because we need people to go into the medical system. We need people to buy the supplements. We need people to buy the medication and all of the things. But do you really need to do that? No.
That's actually how it happened. So this has been a thing for, like, frequency medicine is not new. It's been a thing for over 100 years. But in the early 1900s, they said, like, no, you know what? There was a lot of holistic practitioners, like chiropractors and osteopath and whatever, that were using frequency medicine very successfully. And then, like, the medical system said, no, we're promoting surgery and medication, and frequencies out. So anyone who continues to use it will lose their license and get, like, whatever, right, charged or whatever it was. So yeah, you're right. But it's not hushed anymore. Like, it's not shut, right? So, and it is funny that you say all those comparisons with radio and whatever. And like, even key fobs. Like we can unlock our car from a distance, we can start our car from a distance. That's totally normal. It's making my life better. I'm not gonna figure out how it works. I'm just gonna use it, right? When it comes to like actually making our real life better, like our
Mhm.
health and everything, it's like no, 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 give me all the science. I need to figure out how that works. And that's totally fine too. I mean, you can totally understand what is going on in your life, but it's just really funny to look at the comparison that like, I'll turn on the radio and I'm not going to ask a question versus I'm not going to put this on my body. Like we don't, it's the exact same magnetic frequency. When you use the coil that we've talked about a few times, that magnetic frequency, the mag Healy uses magnetic frequency. It's all the same thing, right?
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, it's a very common thing in a lot of areas of life. Taking it to, I guess, away from our cars and radios and all these things to improving our life is
Mhm.
that. So I think we covered a lot, and
Yes.
I think this is it for people. So whether it's about the frequency, the community, the wealth aspect, or anything, reach out to either of us really, and we can answer your questions further and support you. And I think that's it. Do you have anything left to say?
That's it. We definitely covered a whole lot. So this video is going to be a really great resource for anybody who is considering the possibilities that this Healy device can have. So yeah, reach out to us. Have a wonderful day, and we'll chat with you guys soon.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.